Hello. Thank you to all the lovers of horror and cinema and everything else in between for joining me tonight. And as you can probably guess by the title of the video, we're going to be watching the trailer for the new Child's Play movie today. I'm sorry it's been a while since the trailer came out, and I'm just now finally getting to watching it. But I've just been busy, a lot of things have been coming up. And before we get into the reaction, there's something that I want to talk about, as you can also probably tell from the title of the video or the description, or I don't know, I'm going to make some reference to it in the whatever. But I want to talk about some of the conversation that's been going on around the Child's Play series ever since the remake was really announced. As most of you guys know, Don Mancini, he wrote the original Child's Play, and he's written every single one since then. He eventually took over directing duties with Sea of Chucky, and he's been directing the series ever since. So, the series has definitely been his vision from the start, and even more so in the more recent entries. So, he's built up a respectable fan base of his own. He's really well known within the horror community, and as a gay horror filmmaker myself, I really respect the amount of clout that he's been able to achieve in this genre. The genre's fan base, for the most part, are really open-minded and loving and accepting, but sometimes not so much when it comes to the LGBT community. Now, I'm not saying that any of the hate that's getting directed towards Don Mancini right now is homophobic in any nature. I've not witnessed any of that myself. I've not seen any of it on social media or the comments or bulletins that I've been looking into about these matters. So no, I'm not saying that anything that's been going on with Don Mancini is homophobic or related to his sexuality or the LGBT community in general. I just bring that up because I just wanted to say that I identify with Don Mancini in a way because he created the series. He feels like it's his child in a way, and he feels like it's being ripped away from him by the studio that he originally worked with. I mean, MGM Universal, I believe, is the one who are be distributing this new remake. I mean, and if they own the rights to the intellectual property in the first movie or have their right to make another movie, then I mean, we can't really criticize them for doing so because every other studio has been digging into their IP and back catalog to see what they can reboot. So you can't really blame the studio for going ahead with this. You also can't blame the studio for wanting to go in a fresh new direction and not wanting to hire on the services of Don Mancini or even consult him. What really stings, though, about all of this is that Don Mancini has been working on a new television series for the Child's Play series for a long time now, and we're now just getting some word that it's going to be actually happening, and it's going to be airing on the Sci-Fi Channel. And I personally look forward to just looking at least the first episode to see how it might be. The last couple of entries in the Child's Play series haven't been the absolute best, especially Seed of Chucky, but I feel like the series definitely redeemed itself with Curse of Chucky, and even Cult of Chucky, which carried over a lot of the silliness that I hated from the Seed of Chucky. It still felt really natural in the horror in a lot of ways, and it had a lot of Hannibal influences, which it should because Don Mancini was working on the Hannibal show as well, with Brian Fuller, another LGBT creator who gets a lot of flack these days, sometimes deservedly so. No, Brian's like completely innocent in any of the stuff. Some of the stuff that he's been involved in. But that's another topic. I digress. Moving on. Back to Mancini. Yeah, I can definitely see the hurt in where he's coming from, feeling like the studio is not caring that he's still continuing his vision and is kind of taking the property away from him in a way. And now normally I wouldn't be so upset, but from what I've been able to tell from the marketing and from the little snippets of the trailer that I have seen accidentally, they're using a lot of the iconography from the Child's Play franchise, specifically the first 3 films. So yeah, when you created something that is iconic and is being carried over in the remake, and then you're kind of being given the middle finger by the studio as you're continuing your own series, yeah, it does kind of feel like a cheap shot. It does kind of feel like a fuck you in a way, pardon my French. But you know what? I can see where Don is coming from, and I'm kind of upset that the horror community is kind of turning against him in a way. It's, they are claiming, and your thoughts on the previous Child's Play movies up until this point, since Don Mancini has taken over, don't really matter. And when you say that Don Mancini shouldn't feel upset, or that this whole situation is overblown, or just trying to delegitimize the ruthlessness of what the studio is actually doing. Now, don't delegitimize his pain just because you feel that he hasn't been delivering in the last couple of series. That doesn't matter. It's still not It's still not right. It's still wrong, and it's not cool. And I completely stand by Don Mancini in his anger, in his dissatisfaction and displeasure with Universal and MGM proceeding with this remake, especially so close to the release of the new Child's Play TV series, and possibly more sequels. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a moment. The fan base, the horror community's reaction to this has kind of baffled me in a little bit, and I find it disheartening that other creators are standing by the studio or trying to downplay Don Mancini's feelings or even attack him and his legacy. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even have Chucky. We wouldn't have the Child's Play franchise. He is a creator. He created this entire series. The only reason I'm sitting here making this video right now is because of him. So let's show him a little fucking gratitude and a little respect. That's all I really wanted to get into and really say. So, without further delay, let's get right on into the reaction to this trailer. I'm really excited to see this. I'm a big fan of Aubrey Plaza. I think that I'm so excited that she's in a horror film. I would love to see her do more horror films. She could be like the next Scream Queen. That would be fantastic. She's hot, she's amazing, she's funny. I am worried about her bringing her deadpan kind of sarcasm to this and kind of deflating the tension in a little way, but we'll see. I'm not going to judge anything. She's been in a lot of other stuff, and she's shown some range before, so let's give her the benefit of the doubt and go into this with open eyes and an open heart, okay? And I don't really know anything else about the production other than that. I don't know who else is in it. I don't really know who's directing it, honestly. So we're about to find out a lot of new stuff here. So let's get right to it.
At Caslin, we believe that happiness is about more than entertainment. It's about being known, understood, loved. Introducing your new best friend.
People, let me tell you about my best friend.
Love her. Ooh. Okay, nice pedigree there. Ooh, I like the colors. Buddy. Definitely. Oh, okay. I'm loving this.
Chucky?
The production value is really good. Oh, wow. No, don't kill Aubrey Plaza, not the mommy. Okay. Wow. I've been seeing some negative comments saying that the movie looked cheap or bad, but I honestly really enjoyed that. That looks fantastic, you know? And I want to, you know, and like I said before, I want to give all credit and respect where it's due to Don Mancini for even creating this franchise. It has a lot of potential, you know, the concept to be scary and inventive and to be reinvented in the modern day, especially in the current climate and everything that's been happening in the world and in this country as of late. I feel like I also would love to see, you know, the Child's Play series go back to its horror roots and be really scary again. Because I feel like the thrill and the horror factor has been lost. Really ever since Part 3. I'm not really sure when the decline began, honestly. But I'm really conflicted, and I feel bad for... I kind of feel bad for liking the trailer so much because it does look good. But Aubrey Plaza, once again, I love her, and I would love to support her in a horror film, absolutely. So I will be going, especially now. Let's talk about some of the production values and all the colors and the cinematography and everything. The performances, everything is looking really good. I saw some new stuff, like there's some stuff in the store or wherever they're at there, that looked something new, fresh. The Aubrey Plaza is all tied up and she's looking like she's really in danger. That could be, they could really deviate from the original and go a lot darker, and I would totally stand behind that, even though that would break my heart because Aubrey Plaza would die and then she wouldn't be able to be in any sequels that they would inevitably make to this. Let's not kid ourselves here. This does good money, especially after Halloween. It looks like it's going back to the horror roots. It's giving us a really kind of nostalgia-driven sequel. The production value looks amazing. The lights, the colors, everything really pops. They are keeping, they're tying it thematically into the original series, into the original movie, but it does look like they are taking new, fresh turns and really spinning this into a new tale for a new generation, and I'm really excited about that, honestly. It sounds like really fun. It sounds like it could really work. Just like the Pet Sematary remake, I feel like we're gonna get, and you know what's really weird about that is that the Pet Sematary original and the Child's Play original, I believe, came out in the same year, 1989 or 1988. I could be wrong there, but that's a really weird coincidence too if that happened. And they're all coming. The remakes are coming out the same year too. I mean, they both look amazing. They both have actresses that I gush over and can't wait to see. Gosh, this is a really good year for us horror fans, and we need to be more appreciative of our creators. And yes, I wish that the studio maybe would have waited, maybe would have consulted Don Mancini, maybe would have brought him on as a producer, or at least try to ask for his blessing in doing the remake, or maybe have changed the name or changed up some of the iconography to separate it further away from what his vision is and what the Child's Play series established with Don Mancini and Brad Dourif as Chucky. Now, I am going to see this movie. I want to support it because it's got a lot of things going for it. It looks like it could be a really good quality horror film. Although we'll have to wait to see if the reviews come out and it turns out to be terrible, then I might be more cautious and reserved in going to see it. But it's not like the Child's Play series is known for its critically acclaimed, Oscar-worthy films and sequels. And some of those sequels, as the aforementioned Seed of Chucky, which leaned way too heavy into comedy and slapstick and surreal nonsense for me to get behind. And it just wasn't funny. It didn't sit right with me. And even Child's Play 3, it's just, and to an extent, The Cult of Chucky. It's been a divisive series, so it does have its ups and downs, and it does have some really good quality installments. And this looks like it could be another one. So I feel like people who are against this movie, for the reasons that I said about defending Don Mancini, I feel like we should give it a chance and allow it to be its own thing, and see and let time tell if the movie is quality and if it was worth upsetting the fan base and upsetting Don Mancini so much. And for fans of people who are looking forward to see this movie and who have been giving the cold shaft to Don Mancini, I encourage you to take a second look and try to really think and identify from where he's coming from, and try to be a little bit more kinder and open-hearted when it comes to him and his contributions to the horror community and to the series, because as I've said several times throughout this video, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have any of these movies at all. So, on that note, I want to go off and head out of here now. You guys, as always, take good care of yourselves and live your best lives to the truest way possible. And as always, I will see you all real soon.